called Youth Development Consortium. We are proud to say that it is the world's largest youth council. We believe that young people are the heart of solutions to the world's greatest challenges. That is why we are dedicated to strengthening systems in communities to achieve sustainable outcomes in health, education, political, and economic empowerment. By helping young people pursue their aspirations, we empower them to contribute and benefit from the creation of more peaceful and prosperous communities. The way to develop the best encouragement. We are privileged to have such a person amongst us. I would like to thank the State President of Tamil Nadu NYCI, Mr. R. Vimal, for taking a leaping initiative in conducting South India's largest aero modeling workshop. The workshop took place from September 2020 to October 2020 in partnership with SRM University Ramapuram and No Data. In order to usher the event and turn it into a huge success, approximately 370 schools were approached all over India, out of which more than 200 schools volunteered to participate till date. The organization witnessed 2,000 plus registrations. All participants received certificates signed by Sri T.K. Sundaramurthy, Mission Director of ISRO, and Dr. C. Sundar, Faculty of Science and Humanities, SRM University. I take immense pleasure in welcoming our chief guest, Sri T.K. Sundaramurthy, retired Mission Director, ISRO. Respected Mr. Sundaramurthy joined ISRO Satellite Center after completing bachelor's degree in mathematics from Sacred Heart College, DMIT Honors in Aeronautical Engineering, and MIT and ME in Aerospace Engineering from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, in the initial capacity as mission analyst. He served in ISRO for over 37 years in various capacities and responsibilities in mission operations, management of communication, and meteorological spacecraft of ISRO. I also welcome Dr. T. Maithili, ma'am, Director of Student Affairs, SRM University. She holds a PhD in soft skills and has 24 years of experience in the academic field. She initiated a career development center at SRM University in 2006. She also led the team in the Government of India initiative to train 250 government schools of Tamil Nadu in SRM University 2012. She also trained Japanese nationalists in communicative skills for the last 14 years. The Higher Education Digest in 2020 selected Dr. T. Maithili Ma'am as one of the 10 most influential women leaders in Indian education. Welcome, ma'am. I now request Maithili Ma'am to address the gathering.
Thank you. A very good evening to one and all here. It is indeed a pleasure and honor to be sharing screen space with you, sir, Shri T.K. Sundaramurthy, sir. And I would like to congratulate Vimal and his team of young enthusiastic people who have made this program possible. I would like to congratulate the students who have successfully completed the workshop and are here today as part of the selected lot to interact with Sir. As mentioned in the beginning, it is not an easy job to get this program done, especially online, across 200 plus schools and across, I should say, 2,000 plus students. My heartiest congratulations yet again to Vimal and his team. And dear students, the selected lot who are very enthusiastically waiting to interact with Sir, I should say it is indeed an honor and privilege for all of you to interact with such a legendary person. One can sense sees Abdul Kalam ji, I should say, the warmth that he exudes when he looks forward to meeting the children. Welcome, sir. Indeed an honor to be here alongside with you. I would also be failing my duty if I do not mention, as our presenter had mentioned in the beginning, that we are having this program on this very, very special day. As Abdul Kalam ji had said, he is one who loves children. And this program has so much of meaning in many ways. We have Sir, who is from the missile side. We have the children here. And it is indeed, it has fallen in place, I should say, in a beautiful way. And thanks again, Vimal. And dear children, amongst the many things that Abdul Kalam ji has said,
Ma'am,
many things.
ma'am,
One, yes, anybody? Okay. Among the many things that Abdul Kalam ji has said, one thing that probably is very close to my heart is dreams are not that those you see in your sleep, but dreams are those that do not let you sleep. And I would definitely say that people who have experienced it would realize how true it is. Any project, any idea that has excited you, that has inspired you, would not let you lie down. And I'm sure many of you must have spent sleepless night or probably the day restlessly waiting for this evening to have this wonderful interaction. And before I conclude, I'd like to share a thought or two. The pandemic taught us to embrace change, if I might say. Change in many ways. The way this very program or the workshop that conducted over the last 2 months, the way today's program is conducted, everything
ma'am,
signifies
I
the
have a
change.
doubt, ma'am.
Yes, Ma, tell me. You can wait for a minute or two. I'll complete and then you can have clarify and go ahead, okay? Yeah. So embarking onto the 21st century, I'm sure there are a few parents listening to this program with their children. Just a word or two before I conclude. Embarking onto this 21st century, we need four important skills that are very, very essential: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. These four will ensure that the children are able to achieve a lot in life. When I say communication, the ability to have an open mind and talk to people, reach out, ask questions, as always said by Dr. Kalam, ask questions, talk, express your ideas, don't be shy, irrespective of the way you're going to talk. Collaboration, the ability to reach out and mingle with people, work in a team. I guess your workshop must have taught you a lot on that. Critical thinking, why not like this? Why like this? And lastly, creativity. I think these four will definitely ensure you to succeed much more in life. And of course, our education policy, the new education policy, is focusing a lot on all these kind of aspects which are going to really help the youngsters. So, dear students who are all on the brink of this change, my request for all of you to make the best use of the opportunity as you have done and you're here today in future too. Best wishes to each one of you to realize your dreams, and to dear parents, hold hands, be by the side of your child, ensure that he or she is able to realize his or her dream. Thank you, Vimal. Thank you, sir. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. Wish you all success for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your words of wisdom. I request our chief guest, Sir TK Sharma, to share a few words with us.
Good evening, one and all. Wishing you
Good
all
evening, sir.
in your
Good evening,
life.
sir.
Just Vimal was asking me, sir, like this, we are going to conduct a program which is on the virtual competition held over 3 to 4 months across all the schools. I happily told him, don't worry, I will be definitely be there, because I also always interested in interacting with students. This I'm doing it for the past 1.5 decades. I think almost now I have crossed almost 100 institutions and then universities interacting with the students. Actually, this gives me immense pleasure of interacting with students, because that gives me the energy back. I never felt that I'm already retired from the service, but maybe I am. Maybe the age number is not for me, but you have to accept the reality. But I'm happy still. I'm continue to do this because people like Vimal and all are after me, and then I'm visiting a lot of universities. Why? Even 2 days back, I have given one lecture for your SRM university. It was arranged by, I think, one assistant professor, Umar Rizwan from Yarrow. Yeah, I have. So like this, I'm keep continuing this, but this is a very special day for me because I'm going to be a chief guest where it's a great honor to me to be a part of Dr. Kalam's birth celebrations. Fortunately, this 2020 has been a yes. But okay, let us talk about the good things. Our space founders, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai's centenary celebration got over by 25th September. But at the same time, on 25th September 2020 to 2021, our next hire of Dr. Sarabhai, Professor Satish Dhawan's centenary celebrations have started. Okay. Another space doyen is our Dr. Kalam. In fact, I am happy to say that, yes, I could at least be a part of ISRO when all these visionaries were there. But unfortunately, Dr. Sarabhai's thing, anyway, I was also a student like you all people. Okay, even when the first satellite, Aryabhatta, was launched, I was still in my college. So that is how in fact, I am lucky to say that after satellite launch vehicle program, it got succeeded in 1980. Dr. Kalam was moved to Bangalore for the advanced studies of launch vehicles. They formed one launch vehicle directorate. So at the time, I was just a fresher to ISRO, and then I was involving all this analysis, mission analysis work and all. My boss, Dr. R.M. Vasagam, I think you will all know, he is the first, our experimental communication satellite project director. He used to call me and then tell, Sundaramurthy, can we do something? Anyway, I know a little bit of programming. So he used to tell, why not we make some proposals for that launch vehicles, stages. A single stage cannot go to the orbit to have the satellite to be launched. So it has to be in multiple stages. So that study I started, and then whenever he go to headquarters, he used to call me and then take me to Dr. Kalam. So that is how I am proud to say that yes, I had an opportunity because of my boss. I could interact with him. I think he is a very, very soft-spoken person. And he is, if you at the first sight, you will never look like he is a taskmaster, but he always chases the targets. For him, 24 hours a day is not sufficient. That is how I think no president of India moved to presidential palace with 2 suitcases in the hand, and again after the completion coming out also with the same 2 suitcases. While coming out, he has specifically asked the security people to open the suitcase and then asked them to check for it. They were a little bit nervous, and they were asking, sir, what is this? Then he has told, yes, when I moved in, whatever I have nothing less. See, that is the kind of life which he has led, and then he is really what role model, interacting with the students very much. His dream, rather, he was used to tell, my last breath also has to be happening only when I'm interacting with the students community. The same thing has happened. Unfortunately, we lost him in 2015 when he was about to give the presidential address in Shillong University. I think that is the kind of a great man, and it is you can keep on telling about Dr. Kalam. I think even days or even weeks or months will not be sufficient. All his work is an example which all of us have to follow. And then only one thing which I can tell about him is that hard work. And then you chase your target without any looking back. You are 100% sure of succeeding your goal. Okay, with this note, I would like to thank Maithili ma'am as well as Vimal and Abhirami for a nice introduction. I'm very much interested in now interacting with the kids. Thank you so much. Once again, all the very best for you people.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. This session is now open for questions.
I think, Abhirami, only the student who is going to ask the question, let him enable his mic, or you enable his mic. Otherwise, this echo will be keep coming, and I have a problem.
Yes, sir. No, sir. They will put the questions in the chat box.
Fine, then it is all right.
Some people will operate the chat box. They will tell you. They will pass the question to you, sir. Yeah. Start. Jonathan, start.
Sir. So the first question is from Deepak, asking, why do jets leave a white trail in the sky?
Why do we leave white? Okay. Fine. Fine. That's not a issue. Okay. I think probably all of you has visited your kitchen when your mom cooks. Yeah. I think then when the pressure cooker is being kept in the stove, after some time you will see some kind of thick white fume is coming out of the cooker, and then mother keeps the weight over it. That is nothing but the exhaust water, what we can call it as a vapor, thick vapor. So like that, in the rocket, when the rocket is getting powered, that means the oxidizer and the fuel both are already mixed and it started burning. You know the kind of the engine power which expels the amount of combusted gases are so high. It is coming, to start with, it will be coming in kilometer per second speed. And the exhaust is so thick, and it is very difficult for the surrounding atmosphere to get it diffused so fast. So it takes some time. That is why you are seeing that white patch trials. Okay. Similarly, you will be observing when the aircraft goes off, you will not be able to see, whereas when the fighter jets are going, you will see similar kind of trials.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have a next question from Savio Joseph. Why are scramjet engines efficient only at very high speeds? And does ordinary missiles use scramjet engines?
Oh, scramjet engine. Okay. First of all, people should know that in the rocket, unlike in aircraft engine, in aircraft engine we are using only fuel. The oxygen which is used for combustion is being derived from the atmosphere. Okay, that is why in aircraft you don't carry oxidizers. But you all know the atmosphere presence in the earth is limited only to 15 to 20 kilometers, beyond which the amount of oxygen available is very much limited. So that is the main reason why rocket we are carrying fuel as well as oxidizers in the same compartment, so that for combustion it is used. Whereas in a scramjet, what is happening, it is a combination of fuel as well as oxidizer. But there, in the initial period, once some amount of speed you require to get the enough amount of oxygen for combustion purpose. It is not like our aircraft, because aircraft, the speed in which you are talking of is very much limited when compared to this. When I'm talking of 1 kilometer per second, now you imagine per hour what would be the speed. So that is a kind of a speed in which it travels. So scramjets are being used mainly within the atmospheric regime only. And second part is the speed should be definitely when compared to other thing, it should be around Mach 2. That is the reason scramjets are used with high speed. It is mainly to have enough amount of oxidizer, and that cannot be made use beyond 15 to 20 kilometers only.
Thank you, sir. We have the next question, sir. Why do rockets do not burn when going through the atmosphere? While going through the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. That's why the stages are made up of Madras steel. That is to mainly, and of course, we are crossing the atmosphere very fast. In few seconds, we will cross. But still, that aerodynamic heating is being created that will harm the satellite. That is why the satellites are being protected with a heat shield. You will be seeing a bulbous kind of a thing is sitting on top of the rocket. That takes care of the heat produced while going through the atmosphere. So the satellite is being protected from the heat generated by the atmosphere. And around 100 kilometers or so, yes, when we feel the heat generation will no longer be dangerous to Earth. So the heat shields are being separated, and then we will continue our mission until the satellite is injected into the air.
Thank you, sir. Also, there's another question. How students asking if how they can become an astronaut or research engineer or join the ISRO.
I think this is okay. First thing, okay, I will let you put the question back to you people. Let us see. I am okay. I am in the interview. Okay, but then I require 100 people for my work to be completed for the financial year. Then when I advertise for the post, I will get nowadays in lakhs of applications I am getting. How do I process? I need only 100 recruits. So for me, the only reference about the individuals are only their university ranks or marks or whatever they are getting. So what will I do? First, I will set my goal. I will order of preference. I list down the names and then select first 10,000 numbers. That's all. That means from there, I will select them for online and then I will filter further and then go for interview. So for all these things, the base requirement is you people have to do very well in your career. That is, this is the period where you have to put all your effort into scoring a good marks and then try to have a strong fundamentals. See, without a strong fundamentals, it is very difficult for us to move upward in any of the field. So if you want to be successful in your career, be sure that you are putting your 100% effort in get done the job. So dedication, hard work, and then perseverance. These things will definitely take you wherever you want. It is not only to ISRO, anywhere.
Thank you, sir. So we have a question asking, why can't we launch into the Martian orbit?
No, I'm not getting it. You are asking a question, why we have launched a satellite to Mars?
No, sir. They're asking, why can't we launch into the Martian orbit?
Martian orbit we have already done, you know. Our Mangalyaan was launched into Mars orbit only. We were the first country to get into Mars, Mars in the first attempt itself. Whereas USA took a 6th attempt only, they succeeded. USSR took 7 attempts to go around Mars. And China is yet to go around Mars. But we have already done it. And now China is going, and then yes, our Mangalyaan 2 is on the way, and now we are planning to land on Mars also, like what we planned our Chandrayaan 2 to land on Moon.
Thank you, sir. So there's another question. So do you think ISRO should focus on reusable rockets like SpaceX does? And has ISRO already started development on reusable rockets third stages?
Yeah, I think if you see our programs, RLV, that reusable launch vehicle, we were already, it was in 5 different phases. In that 3 phases are already completed successfully. The next 2 phases, yes, we would have already brought back the orbiter, but now the priorities have been changed because of our human space program, which we are supposed to launch in 2022. That was the Prime Minister's guideline given in 2018. So towards that now, there is a priority reallocation. So in that, this RLV is slightly pushed a little bit, backwards, but the program is already on. But one thing is very sure, RLV is already in the pipeline, and then we are going to do it. And one more thing, what I can say is this by 1/10. That means as of today, now to launch 1 kg satellite, we need $5,000. Now, if I use RLV, then it can be brought down to $500 a kg. That is the kind of advantage. But SpaceX, yes, of course, 10 years back, when they were telling that they wanted to reuse the stages, people were not believing them. But today, they have successfully reflown the same stage 6 times. Yes, India is also, yes, maybe I can't say now what is the definite time frame, but already we have completed 3 phases, and then we will have it maybe in couple of years.
Thank you, sir. So there's a question asking how many satellites have India launched into the space?
Oh, so far now we have launched, I think our number of satellites launched has already crossed a century. And we are having already a working satellites itself, something like 60 to 70 satellites are in the orbit, serving for different purposes, communication and meteorological satellites, remote sensing satellites, cartographic satellites, imaging satellites, and scientific satellites. All these things are all in the working condition, and then people, and we are also in another, maybe by 2030, we will be adding easily another 40 satellites.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there's a question. When the rocket reaches between the surface of the atmosphere and vacuum of space, does the difference of pressure affect the rocket, excluding speed?
No, I think those things are all already being taken care in our vehicle dynamics. Our navigation, guidance and control automatically takes, it is not just what I can say is, okay, after 10 kilometers, there is no atmosphere, or after 100 kilometers, there is no complete atmosphere. It's a gradually thinning parameter, that's all. So there is no question of a kind of a sudden, that is, yes, up to this altitude, yes, there is atmosphere, beyond that it is vacuum. There is no such thing. It's a gradual one. When I compute the forces, I will see the density of the atmosphere as I reach higher and higher altitudes. That's all. So this is automatically being taken care in the navigation, guidance and control software.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question. What are the most essential parts of a satellite?
Most essential part of the satellite, okay. For a human body, okay, this question I am open to all the students. In our human body, which is most important? Someone can answer.
Brain, heart, lungs, and brain, heart, lungs, sir.
Heart and lungs.
Brain and heart, sir.
Okay, but you can survive without your hand and without your leg?
No, sir.
Then
Yes, sir. We can survive without
just now you told me.
Sir,
So we can't, because then we would lose a lot of blood.
yeah.
Then any more answers?
We need all parts to function.
Good. I think you people know the answer. Then you are asking me a question. Satellite is also you can consider as a human body. Okay, solar panels are required to give the enough power. Battery is required whenever the satellite is in eclipse. The battery needs to be powered. You need always a communication system, otherwise you will not be able to communicate with the spacecraft, and its health cannot be seen and then monitored, and then it can be kept. Like that, payload. Payload is the most important thing, because the payload is there. For that only satellite has been launched. So payload is another one of the vital part. So that way, everything plays its own role. It is a combination of all the systems working together. That is the kind of they can should know. So it is not that I cannot say that this is the part of the subsystem is most important. At times, the importance role may be percentages, it may be differing, but that will be keep varying depending on the situation. When I start using the payload is the prime one, but payload cannot function without support of all other subsystems. Okay, so that is the kind of a thing.
Thank you, sir. So another question: who started the ISRO and who made the first rocket?
Oh, okay. Our the space was, again, I can say that it was formed by Dr. Sarabhai. He was the instrumental and in Ahmedabad, he started, he was a very big businessman, and then he is a well educated gentleman. Then he started to have physical research laboratory, that is called the PRL. That was the founding stone for the our establishment of Department of Atomic Energy as well as Department of Space. So I can say, if you are asking me the founding father of Department of Space, it is none other than Dr. Vikram Sarabhai.
Thank you, sir. So another question: what are the upcoming projects of the ISRO and few of the missions that were taken down from ISRO when you were the director there?
Okay, that I can say that I think in 2000, late 2000s, that is, I can say that 2006, we were the only country which was selected by European Space Agency, Eutelsat. They wanted a communication satellite, a state-of-art communication satellite. And then they have asked for the request for proposal across all the space technology builders. Then we also submitted a report, and yes, we got selected, and that was our first foreign contract. We were supposed to build and then hand over the satellite to them in 36 months. I think we did our work, and then we have successfully completed the mission. That is one of the very important mission for our ISRO. Next, of course, you can name, there are so many things. In that I can say Chandrayaan is one of the milestone, Mangalyaan is another milestone. Then AstroSat, it is for the to study the universe and stars characteristics and its properties are being analyzed, and then we are having that. And next, most important milestone wise, which we all are looking for, like you, I'm also now looking for a Indian astronaut to go to orbit and come back. Okay, for that already 4 IAF pilots have been chosen and sent to Russia. They have already completed their 7 months of training, and then they will be completing a few more and then come back. Once they come back to India, already the astronaut training center established in Bangalore near International Airport, people are going to go, and then they will be given additional training. This is one. And next most important thing from satellite point of view, one satellite which is exclusively to study about sun. That is, the satellite is going to be put in an orbit such a way that the satellite is kept stationary. So one side of the satellite will be seeing the sun, other part of the satellite will be seeing the Earth always 24/7, so that the instruments which are located, which can see the sun and observe and send the data to the Earth 24/7 basis. This is another most important one satellite. In terms of launch vehicle, I can say that we are planning to have a heavy lift launch vehicle. Currently, whatever we are having is 10 ton in low Earth orbit. That is our GSLV Mark III. Now, the plan is to build a big, can take 100 tons in low Earth orbit, and with that we should be able to go to moon and then come back. That is the idea which is in the pipe.
So I'm really sorry to disturb.
Thank you, sir. So also, what is the remote sensing satellite?
Okay. Remote sensing satellite is nothing but, okay, I can, if I want to put it in simple terms, okay, the sunlight, when it gets reflected, based on the properties that reflected energy levels differs. So in the remote sensing technology, what it is being used is the reflected radiation of the sunlight is being measured over a period of time, and then they will come out by knowing the wavelength and the pattern. They will decide about the minerals, horticultural products, and then this water contents, and then all kinds of usages like barren land, all these things, because each one has its own limitation of radiating of the sunlight into one particular wavelength. So that wavelength is filtered depending upon the application wise. If I am looking for a remote sensing satellite which is going to be used for the agricultural purposes, then what I will do, I will keep the sensing mechanism such that it will always look for the radiation wavelength, radiation pattern of crops, pulses, and then vegetables kind of things. Then those wavelengths will be filtered, and then it will be translated as a data, and then we will collect it on the ground and then analyze, and then we will see mainly, okay, if it is meant for production capacity like that, or doing that. This is on the agricultural side. Similarly, on the materials side, if you look for, when I see any deposits of materials like aluminium or metals, these are all having, again, the transmitted pattern is different. So when I use it for material analysis, then I have corresponding filters built into the satellite, and it will filter only those things, and then we used to have for imaging. Now what I can say is like your mobile cameras. We are having optics, and the satellite will be taking the pictures of the area where it is moving around. With that, we will analyze the pictures. Currently, we have the capability to see a car moving in the road. That is the kind of accuracy what we have. So these are all the, okay, I can say it's remote sensing itself field. I just put it into very shortly, and then I have given to this explanation.
Thank you, sir. So another question. What do you say as the main reason for the failure of Chandrayaan 2? Was it because of the Vikram lander?
Okay, I think you people put me in a delicate position. Okay, man from ISRO. Yes, we did all our efforts. We have made a lot of analysis, and then we made sure the simulations and everything prior to launch. We made sure everything is go as per the plan. So that is why, if you recall our chairman's statement, 15 minutes, that is from the starting of the landing process until it lands. Okay, I will put it in layman's language. What is happening whenever a car is returning from home? Okay, what I am planning is, after reaching home, okay, if my car shed is spacious enough, then there is no problem. I can whichever direction I wanted to park. Whereas if I have a very, very limited space and my visibility of the car garage walls are not seen clearly, then I should go with my limited knowledge and then try to park it. But in the process, I may be getting some scratches and other things. This is the kind of affair. Even if I want to park a car in my the lander in which it is supposed to from the orbit of 100 kilometers, we have brought down the orbit to 10 kilometers, very close to the moon's surface. And then it is supposed to, from there, the deceleration starts, and then the actual, what we call it as breaking of the trajectory has happened. And then from moon's orbit, it started descending towards moon's surface. So that was the first time we used the propulsion system of the lander. Until then, the orbiter propulsion system only was used. And 5 engines, that is for the propulsion purposes. It is supposed to produce the thrust, and that in turn takes care of the moon's atmosphere as well as the velocity in which probe is descending down. So at the time of touchdown, the velocity in which it is going to be touched down should be almost 0 meter per second. But unfortunately, what has happened is in that altitude of 2 kilometers itself, it looks, yes, I think but still it is. There could be some thruster problem, which instead of giving more thrust, it has produced less thrust. Because of that, instead of the vehicle getting decelerated, it got accelerated. But now Chandrayaan 3 is in progress. This problem is already been taken into account, and the thrusters are being well calibrated, and then it is being now remounted, and then it is being tested, and the test is still going on. I think we should be able to successfully land with Chandrayaan 3.
Thank you, sir. So satellites stay in the space even after the time period they work. So they form a junk in the space. Why can't ISRO make steps to bring them back?
Yeah. Okay, can you people tell what is the cost of a satellite launch?
$4,000.
$4,000. Good. Bring back the same satellite. What do I do?
Send another
There is a
satellite to take the garbage.
no. See, thing is, when I bring it back, I should again spend so much of propulsive energy and then bring the satellite back. It's not worth. So that is the reason. And next one thing is, when the satellites are launched within 1,000-kilometer altitude, its lifetime is also restricted to 1,000 to 100 to 10 to 20 years of time, so that it will re-enter and will burn off. But the problem is, now the satellites, when it is being there beyond 1,000 kilometers, its lifetime increases. In fact, even it goes to 50 years, 60 years, 100 years, as depends on the satellite altitude. Now, if you see the combination of the satellites, which are in 1957 was the space era, we started crowding the space. 1957 was the first satellite Sputnik was launched. But today, if you see the space object, it is so much crowded, then within the orbit of 300 kilometers, now we have more than 10 million pieces of satellites which are already disintegrated, and the rocket which are already spent. All these things are all there. In fact, some of the protection layers are been floating. Even that 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter of a paint flat, it travels with 8 kilometers per second. That means if the flake is come and touches any part of the working satellite, that satellite is getting damaged. I think recently, if you people are following in the paper, our space shuttle, or rather our space station, International Space Station, they did a maneuver to avoid one such debris hitting the some portion of the space station. So, working ISS can be, yes, space station, we can do the thing, but whereas that is very difficult for all the cases now. But now there is a regulation already been promulgated, and at least the spent stages should be brought back within 3 to 6 months of its launch. And then once the satellite is active period is over, try to bring it down and then allow it to burn in the atmosphere. These are all the main regulations which have already been put forth, and many countries are being followed. But still, the debris mitigation is a very big one, which all the countries are now concentrating more. In fact, our India also, now we are planning to put 2 tracking stations, one in Kavalur and one in Mount Abu, at least to estimate the debris present, so that our launch vehicle, whenever we launch, our satellites are kept safe.
Thank you, sir. So, also, how does satellite know where to be landed, and which satellite is known as the Earth observation satellite?
No, I'm not getting your point. There is no satellite landing. Satellite, it goes into the orbit.
Yes, sir. And there's also a question on which satellite is known as the Earth observation satellite.
All satellite which is observing the properties of the Earth is called Earth observation satellites. That's all. It's a general name given. Depending upon its function, the satellite is named. That's all. Whether it is for the satellite is for agricultural purpose, or satellite is for the climatic study satellites, or it is materials management satellite, or it is imaging satellites, or it is cartography satellites. Like that, different names are being given depending upon its payload and its function.
Thank you, sir. Sir, why do we need to go to Mars and Moon? We just have to pay more tax for the ISRO funds.
This question, I don't know how to see. Of course, yes. In life, you need some changes. Neighbors, there is no point in keeping isolating with me alone. I should know who are all my neighbors and what they can contribute to me, or what I can contribute to them, or in what way I can make use of them. So it's a quest of our humankind. Otherwise, why this kind of rocket technology, satellite technology, all these things need to come. So it is the never-ending process of knowing things. That is which makes us to explore things. Yes, of course, as you say, for anything, yes, you need some amount of money. But in the nation building, money alone is not the only thing. We should see our stature, and then we also should be advancing in the technologies. So that is the reason, yes, we planned our mission to Moon as well as mission to Mars. Now, there are plans to go to Venus also.
Sir, but we can just borrow the thing from NASA, no?
Yeah, yes. Okay. Your mom cooks in the house, or she simply borrows things from somebody else?
She cooks in the house.
House. Why? She can borrow it from her neighbors, you know.
But unhealthy. It's unhealthy food. It's not good food.
How do you know it is unhealthy food?
Because we shouldn't eat from outside. It's fast food and stuff like that.
No. I'm talking about your neighbor.
I don't think they will give food to a neighbor.
So when you are not ready to take the food prepared by your neighbor itself, you wanted to have your own. So similarly, what is wrong if I think I wanted to explore and then see things of my own rather than taking it from somebody else? But one thing I wanted to tell you that our space expenditure is one of the least in the all spacefaring countries. Mangalyaan is one of the cheapest mission which ever completed on schedule by any country. Similarly, Moon mission also we have completed in a record low budget. So it is not that for anything I should depend on my neighbor just because it is available with him. Okay, I will see whether I really require that. It's not that I'm copying whatever he is doing. No. What best I can get out of that without taking others' help. That's why we have our own missions.
So, but then we can use that money same money for developing the nation or giving to the poor or other stuff.
You tell me, ma. Okay, I will tell you now. We spent for Moon, okay, 300 crores. But now you tell me with that 300 crores, how many people you could have served? What kind of development which you would have already had In 2008, we have launched Chandrayaan 2. Okay, the data in which we have developed and the data we got and the kind of achievements what we have, we were the first country to prove moon content. These things, can you quantify with money? How many poor people? Yes, as Prime Minister put Mangalyaan budget, it is not even a auto fare. It's just 9 rupees per kilometer what we spent. Okay, with that, okay, how many people you could have fed, or what is the kind of a developmental work which you have done? And now can it be, once you feed the poor, will that be sufficient?
So at least it will be sufficient.
Feeding them.
At least it will be sufficient for some of them.
For how long?
At least like for some time they can.
Then for anything there should be a continuity. There should be some kind of a rather, yes, I fulfilled the requirement. Like that, can it be done?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No. You think positively. Yes. Anything, yes, in your house. Okay, I hope definitely you will all have some entertainment expenditures. You people will go for a movie and then go to kind of a restaurants and all. Why can anyone of you would have thought that that money can be earmarked and then give it to poor people and then they can have it? Once what you can think of is, yes, first time, yes, I will give this 1,000 rupees to them, but that will not be sufficient. But in place of 1,000 rupees, you try to do some charity work. I think that is the best one to do.
Sir, why we are being...
Thank you, sir. Sir, why hasn't India not joined the ISS League? We said we'll build our own space station. When will it become a reality?
Maybe, I think maybe in another decade it will become a reality. Because already ISS, there are a lot of people.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe the the priorities can change and then the government's policy decision also makes our own space station establishment. But all these things, mainly what you need is budget. We have no problem of knowledge and the resources and the technology.
Thank you, sir. So,
Sir, why we want to move on moon with the help of Chandrayaan?
Thank you, sir. Can we fix a heat shield on the space shuttle external tank to stop the external tank from burning in the atmosphere and reuse it for another journey like the space shuttle?
No, that is what is being tried earlier. Now the shuttle program has been now dismantled and disbanded. Now SpaceX is doing the same thing. He is recovering the booster. For that, no extra protection is required. Already it is well protected. But while re-entering, it should come with a correct guiding angle so that it cannot get too much damaged, and then that can be refurbished and then do it. Now they have the technology to recover the booster in the land as well as on the sea itself, so that it can be safely recovered and then refurbished and then launched. Whereas if it is recovered in the sea, the only problem is that once the sea water enters into the boosters stages, then cleaning will be difficult. Now they have made a technology that it is landing safely on the land itself, so that the refurbishment becomes much easier.
Thank you, sir. So, will there be a supernova explosion in about 3 to 4 billion years later to the end of human race?
Sorry, ma, I'm not a physicist, so I don't want to give some answer which is not correct, because see, I should know what is my bread. I'm not a physicist, so I don't want to get into this black hole, nova, and all these kinds of, and exoplanets, all these things of things. Generally, I told the students, avoid these kind of questions. It's a pure physicist domain. It's not my domain.
So sorry for disturbing. Can you tell why does aeroplane?
Allow the kid to ask, ma. Paravala, it is all right. Yeah, hello?
Sir, why does wings and engines are attached to the aeroplane?
Okay. Okay. But do you have a car in your house, ma?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Do you know what are all the parts of the car?
Sir, I know a little bit of the parts of the car.
Okay, ma. That car is having some engine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma. Okay. What for that engine is there in the car, ma?
Sir, I cannot hear you.
No. What for the engine is there in the car?
For moving the car?
For moving the car, why do you need engine?
Sir, I do not know that, so that's why I asked you a question.
Which class are you studying?
4th grade, sir.
4th grade. Yeah, fine. That's a good one. But for anything to move, I think probably 4th grade, I don't know whether already they have taught you Newton's laws. Because I'm not sure about the syllabus. When I did my 3rd grade and all, in fact, even I don't know how to write my name in English. Okay, I did my schooling in my mother tongue. Okay, so it's all right. Yes, for anything to move forward, there should be a force which is pushed behind. So in a car, what it does is the car engine, that the combustion gases are being pulled and it is being pushed back because of that car moves. So you may be experiencing when the car moves slowly, the combustion is taking place in a limited way. When you give the acceleration, the combustion level increases and the kind of force it develops is also more. In the similar manner, aircraft, okay, by aircraft, if you see, aircraft is mainly meant for transporting passengers. So the main body of the aircraft is being kept to keep the pilots and other human beings to sit comfortably in the cabin. So, and to have the lift, flying capability, we need the wings. So wings have been brought in, and now for moving or to stop, you need the engine. That is why that engines are mounted along the wing spans. Okay, now you know why engines are fixed on the wings of the aircraft. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Instead of a rover on Mars, ISRO must develop an unmanned drone so as to avoid the obstacles on the relatively unknown terrain of Mars, like NASA's Perseverance mission.
Yeah, already there are something, but now we are yet to have a mission to move. Mars rover, I think first we have to have a successful rover mission for moon. Once that is over, yes, I think yes, already now the drone and the UAV and then robotics already we have built in as a part of our human space program. Next year end, we are going to send a robo as a demonstration flight to space and then bring it back. So that is how we on the way, and then we are already developing it. Yes, maybe in the pipeline that rover project for the Martian things. Yes, it is already there. In fact, people are talking of helicopter kind of a design also to land in Mars. Yeah, yes, it is a future program, and yes, some of you people can come over and then come with a design, and then we will see it.
Thank you, sir. So, what inspired you to pursue this field or join ISRO? And what is your most challenging project or mission you've encountered with?
See, okay, I can say this is, I entered into ISRO only. Maybe I can say it is accidentally only, because I was very much interested in mathematics. After my BSc, I have applied for to pursue my MSc in Vivekananda College, Chennai, as well as Trichy St. Joseph. But my brother and sister wanted to be an engineer. Then my brother somehow found out about this Madras Institute of Technology. They give engineering courses for BSc graduates. But it is 3 more years we have to spend. That is, instead of 5 years after PUC, we have to spend 3 more years after BSc. Yes, they applied for, and then on the same day, I got admission to MIT as well as MSc. But my brother was working in bank, so he has first sent it to MIT. So I was rather forced to take engineering. But of course, yes. But whatever may be the thing, when I took up something, yes, I always never look back. I will always see what best I can do in that field. That is how, yes, I have chosen aeronautical engineering in my BS, my bachelor degree, and then pursued my aerospace engineering in Institute of Science. Then I joined ISRO. When I joined ISRO, nothing much I was knowing about satellite technology. But I was supposed to, my first project itself was experimental communication satellite, Ariane passenger payload experiment. Okay, that is the beginning for me. Yes, along with my superiors, and then my the project director, Dr. Vasagam, and then deputy project director, and all the whole team, we were working, and then we were very much interested in knowing things. That is the main thing. And then bothered about whom we have to ask or what to ask and all. Yes, no, that is not the case. Whenever we have a doubt, we go to somebody else and then ask them, and then they will, if they don't know, they will in turn guide us to someone else. Like that, we started learning, and then we started. Then finally, I landed up in mission operations, that satellite operations. The main challenge for the mission people are, for anything other than the satellite, it is available to you in your hand. You can do the repair if something goes wrong. Whereas when the satellite is launched, and if something wrong happens to the satellite is not in your hands. So you have to first diagnose what would have went wrong, and how that can be circumvented, and then how to reuse the satellite by bypassing that problematic area, or How do I switch over to the redundant systems? These are all the ways where we will be working when the satellite started building up from the spacecraft and then testing and then until it's launched. This knowledge base we make use to operate the satellite until life ends in the orbit. Challenge-wise, I can say each spacecraft has given me a different kind of experience. Unfortunately, no satellite will have same problem repeat. The problem is coming in a different way. So that is how I can say that I cannot say that this is the satellite I enjoyed most or this is the satellite which I enjoyed the least. No, each satellite is a challenge for me. I enjoyed in working for it.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, we will wind up the questionnaire for now, and the rest of the questions which are brought in by the students, we will be emailing it to you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And do you have any last piece of advice for all the students and young children who are aspiring to get into the field of, rocket science and everything, sir?
Okay, thank you so much. But only one small, advice is one thing which can be given free of cost, and the fellow who gives the advice need not follow. So that is why I hate the word of advice. Similarly, I also don't like people advising. Okay, but one thing I would like to share with you guys. Kindly listen to your parents and your elders. Parents or your elders, they have already done enough mistakes and already learned some lessons from the mistakes. So always listen to the elders and parents. This is one piece of request, not advice, I have for all you people. Next one is work hard, work with dedication. Then knowledge. These three things will make you succeed in your goals. I think with this, okay, again, I would like to close my thing with Dr. Kalam's quote only again. He says, you should always fly high. That whenever there is a rain, you will be seeing birds are flying nearby trees and then it will fly above the clouds. By flying higher and higher, you can come out of the situation as well as you can succeed your goal. So set your goal, try to achieve that goal. For that, put 100% of your hard work. Thank you very much. All the very best for you people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. All the very best. Okay, shall I close?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, fine.
Sir, are there any satellites for the agricultural purpose?
Yeah, we have so many satellites already. Because of the using that satellite data, they are estimating the agricultural production, and accordingly they take the decision for all the products to be sold in the next coming season, like wheat, rice, pulses, all these kinds of things.
Sir, can you name a few?
All most remote sensing satellites are mainly used for agricultural purposes. All our Indian sensing satellites.
Sir,
A message to the students. If you have more questions, please email it to us. We will share the details on the WhatsApp group. I hope this event was a good learning experience. Thank you for attending the event, everyone. As we end this event, I would like to take this opportunity to thank a few for making this event successful. Shri T.K. Sundaramurthy Sir, retired Mission Director ISRO, for taking interest in the progress of the workshop throughout, and for sharing his knowledge on space research. We are thankful to have such an honorable guest with us in this event. Dr. T. Maitli, Head of Student Affairs, SRM University Ramapuram, for joining us today. Dr. C. Sundar, Dean in SRM University Ramapuram. Managing Director of No Data, Mr. Naveen Sundaramurthy, for perfect coordination. Mr. Madan Kumar, for sharing his valuable knowledge, the participants for taking interest in this workshop and attending them with utmost sincerity. Mr. A.R. Girijesh and Mr. Sirish S. for coordinating with over 370 schools across South India. Ms. Abhirami and Ms. Mridula for handling and guiding the participants during the event and the workshops. Mr. Trip Prafulbai Kalaria, Ms. Ankita Ranganath Rao, Ms. J.S. Rishivanti for making sure the certificates reach the participants on time. Ms. Srinavi Sriram, Ms. Mary Johnnet, Mr. Jeffrey Sampson, Vice President of NYCI Tamil Nadu, for organizing the entire event and all workshops and for making sure it runs smoothly. Finally, I would like to thank NYCI for providing us with this opportunity to organize this event. Thank you.
Email.
Ma'am, can we leave? Ma'am, can we leave?
Yeah, you guys can leave now. The meeting has
Thank
got
you, sir.
over.
Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sona madam.